Hi there, I'm Ling Abson, leadership coach. You might know me as Coach Ling. So today I want to talk to you about the common pitfalls to running a retro session. So today I have about 6 for you. So number 1, not setting a topic for your retro. So when you don't set a topic for your retro and everybody comes to a meeting, they don't know what to expect, they're not prepared. That's a common pitfall to having a retro that doesn't feel as streamlined and as effective. So number 2 is not running rules of engagement, or sort of like setting the stage at the beginning of the retro when you start a retro. So for example, a common pitfall is having everybody gather together and then suddenly diving straight into the topic right away without setting some rules of engagement. What this might happen is it may cause some of the behaviors that you don't want to see magnified, and then possibly making the retro run over, or not really getting the not fostering psychological safety. So sometimes I find a common pitfall for those who are new to running a retro is not setting a good rules of engagement before the retro starts. So some of the things I might do at the beginning of a retro is to, hey, this is a blameless activity. We're gonna talk about this topic. For example, how did the past project went? I may also talk about we're not going to try and anchor people, by telling people really quickly what I think, what will give everybody a chance to talk. No interruptions, speak concisely. We don't want to dive into a lot of stories, but sharing concisely your idea. So these are examples of rules of engagement I might try and go over with the team before I actually dive deep into the retro. So number 3, another common pitfall is being derailed. So some reasons for being derailed is having somebody who might be talking about something sort of related to your topic or an idea, and then starting to be derailed because they started, diving deep into something else, and then there's all these other stories that comes up. So one way to stop a retro from being derailed is strong facilitation skills. That could be you as a facilitator interrupting that person, saying, hey, very valid point. We should talk about this. This is important. We're going to take this offline and follow up with a second retro to maybe dive deeper into this so that this retro can be on this. And then we're going to follow up by a separate retro on X, so that you don't suddenly feel, wow, there's so much to talk about and the retro is not focused and becoming derailed. 4th, running out of time. It's so common for retros to run out of time. So depending on the number of people attending, depending on the topic, I would usually spend some time designing the retro. So I typically have a really quick rules of engagement, housekeeping. Hey, this is the topic, why we're here, why is this important? These are the things that we really want to watch out for each other in terms of how we would, bring into the space. And then we really quickly dive into the retro. So the meat and potatoes of a retro could be a start, stop, continue, keep, drop, add, or improve. I may just focus on that. Ideally, I want to close. Sometimes I don't have time to close. So if I have the time to close, I'll do a simple gratitude. Who would you like to thank? What's a takeaway for you? A really quick and easy closing. So I don't add a lot of different activities. If I don't have time, I will only just focus on the start, stop, continue. I really try to make sure I don't add too many things and change too many contexts, because it can confuse people and you can run out of time. My rule of thumb is to keep it simple. Number 5, another common pitfall is retro becoming a venting session. So a lot of managers tell me, I don't enjoy running retros because I feel like I'm giving permission for 2 hours, really for the team is just to vent. There are some retros that you are giving your team the space or the container to vent a little bit, like to process, because the topic is about maybe a team member exiting the company, and it's painful for the team, and they need that time to really process. It could be a reorg that was really painful. The team needs that time to process, and the retro is really about, hey, let's have a time together to really process as a team. So that's okay. However, that's usually the exception and not the norm. Typical retros usually is not a venting, but more of a, okay, these are the things I've noticed not working, and these are the things I've noticed working, and what should we do next to ensure our next project is better, or to ensure that our team continues to be great. So you as a facilitator has to be strong to kind of interrupt when necessary, or to reframe, hey, it's the housekeeping piece, it's the rules of engagement piece. We're gonna try and share concisely what is the point you're trying to share with the team without going deeper into the stories. You're also training your team to be able to share in a concise way, without really adding on all the fluff that sometimes may not be necessary. Lastly, the last common pitfall that I've noticed that can come up for leaders running retros is not having action items and ownership at the end of the retro. You can spend an hour, 2 hours running a retro, and then at the end it's like, wow, we just spent 2 hours talking, and then we leave. Great. Kind of similar to the pitfall earlier about venting. So common pitfall is not having action items. So I always ensure, no matter what I need to cut, I always ensure, so what? So why are we having this retro? It's so that we can do something about it. It's so that we can change something, or we approach the next project differently. And how? So I always ensure we always leave with action item. It could be one. It could be one thing we're going to change. And then who's going to change that? Is that a team ownership? Is that a specific person ownership? We all, as a team, has to agree. And then doing check-ins, weekly check-ins, is to kind of go, hey, by the way, we had a retro last week. We said this was important. How are we on that action item? When do we think we can finish that action item? So it's really keeping the team accountable, making sure they own this action item, so that the next retro, when the team comes back together, we should progress already on that action item. So these are the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, 6 common pitfalls. And I hope this is helpful. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And if you have any other ideas in terms of videos that I can post that will really help you, let me know. All right. Thank you and have a good one. Bye.